Recap in minutes. In today's video, we will be enjoying an action-adventure sci-fi film, entitled Warriors of Future. There will be spoilers ahead, chill out and enjoy. The movie begins in 2055, where advanced military robots are extensively used in battles that wreak havoc throughout the globe. Global warming and pollution damage the atmosphere, making breathing dangerous. Majority of the children are born with serious illnesses, and Tyler's daughter was no exception to this. She was born with an incurable condition and was diagnosed with cancer when she was just 7 years old. Despite her father's best efforts, he could not cure the child of her illness. To protect the last cities on Earth and to purify the toxic air, they built large domes known as Skynet. During the construction of Skynet over B-16, a meteor crashes over a futuristic Hong Kong. As a result of the meteor's impact, a giant alien plant known as Pandora emerges and wreaks havoc on the surrounding area as it takes root. Pandora grows rapidly when it comes into contact with water, causing significant harm. Ironically, they discovered that the plant could help purify the air. Colonel Tam arrives at the B-16 Temporary Command Center, accompanied by the robot units Timura, Enigma, and Dr. Chan, the lead scientist. They report to Sean Lee, the commander-in-chief of B-16 and the mastermind behind the Skynet project. There will be 2 rainstorms on B-16, according to the forecast. They believe that if it rains on Pandora, it will affect the whole B-16. Dr. Chan informs them that there is a plan that may put Pandora to sleep by injecting it with a gene bullet, which contains a virus. As a result, it will modify the plant to make it stop growing, but it will still be able to purify the air. The mission does not require more than 1 gene bullet to penetrate the pistol for it to be effective. However, Sean Lee opposes to the plan because he believes that the creation and deployment of Skynet are more critical. Creating the Skynet causes him and the government too much time and money, and he detests the concept of disabling them. Despite his dissatisfaction with the plan, he asks about the alternate plan. Plan B is to bomb Pandora before the second storm, which would destroy the plant but might kill up to 160,000 people in the surrounding area. When Johnson Chang, the commander of the B-16 Air Force, hears about this, he objects since there is no evacuation plan to evacuate the civilians ahead of time. The entire operation is being kept under wraps since HQ does not want any unnecessary panic. Sean Lee reluctantly agrees and inputs the program, making the robots execute the mission. After receiving authorization to proceed with the operation, Colonel Tam explains the mission's strategy to the Air Force unit. Tyler challenges the colonel relentlessly because he doesn't want to endanger the lives of his soldiers. Colonel Tam wants to use Plan B, but Johnson intervenes and tells the unit that they only have one plan so as not to risk the lives of civilians. After that, everyone prepares to leave for the mission. On the mission, Privates Connor and Lincoln join Tyler in directing the Orca transport plane that carries the gene bullets into the operation. The ASU team's task consists of 3 planes loaded with troops, is to find Pandora's pistol and control the enormous Orca 1 plane with effective robots so that they can launch the virus file into the plant. The ASU team is in command of the Orca 1 aircraft. The mission begins as the first rainstorm comes. They track the location of the pistol by following the smoke that the plants emit. They lose 2 planes on the way into the Pandora-infested city, as the plant's tentacles begin to spread and attack the aircrafts. They momentarily lose contact with the Orca, but one of the troops can escape and locate the pistol. Sean Lee sabotages the Orca by remotely taking control of the ship's armed robots and turning them against the soldiers. Then, it looks like one of the robots is compromising the entire operation from within, as it pulls a grenade pin, which causes the 2 smaller planes to crash. The Orca 1 plane falls, along with the vial of virus remaining inside, making it the only one to survive the unprecedented sabotage. Meanwhile, damaged by Pandora's tendrils, Tyler's aircraft crashes after locating the area where the pistol is. While unconscious, Tyler recalls his daughter and the music box necklace she gave him, telling him it would keep him safe. He gets up and wakes Connor. Connor looks around and notices Lincoln is badly injured, so the 2 drag him out of the helicopter wreckage. They make attempts to contact the command center but are unsuccessful. Back at the command center, Colonel Tam wants to start Plan B, but Johnson, who has been closely monitoring everything, steps in to stop her because the next storm is still 3 hours away. As there are no more other officers available, Johnson volunteers to go and look for the pistol. If he doesn't get the message, the colonel threatens to destroy Pandora in 3 hours. He is reminded by the colonel that they will bomb Pandora in 3 hours. Tam asks one of the communications officers, Lucy, to ascertain the cause of the signal interruption as he departs. Meanwhile, Connor and Tyler decide to go to the nearest hospital. Tyler is attacked and while searching for medical supplies by human-sized insect-like creatures, which also kills Lincoln. Tyler escapes to the emergency room, while Connor hides in the morgue. Tyler saves the life of an abandoned little girl named Pansy, who reminds him of his daughter, Sissy. After that, Johnson locates them and arrives at the location in an armored truck driven by Skunk, an old buddy of his who he convinced to aid him. Johnson, who came just in time, kills the creatures with a hatchet while Tyler saves Connor. When the survivors finally leave the hospital, they make their way to the building where the Orca plane crashed. Tyler argues for bringing Skunk with them on the way there. It is revealed that he was also close friends with Tyler and Johnson back when he was in the Air Force, but was fired due to his cowardice. Johnson also tells them of the plan B to bomb Pandora and the estimated 160,000 casualties. After learning where the gene bullets are, they search for the final intact gene bullet capsule. While everything was going on, Lucy finally gets in touch with Connor. She advised him to look for the robot head because it may contain a record of why the communication got cut off. Connor makes it a point to track down the robot and its head. As they prepare to go to the location of the bullet, the girl, Pansy, comes to trust Tyler, and she pleads with him not to go as she remembers how her mother had told her to wait in the hospital ward but had never come back, probably abandoning her on purpose. Tyler experiences a surge of emotion and makes a promise to remain by her side because he sees a reflection of his daughter in her. Inside the crash site, Johnson utilizes his suit to assist him in climbing the collapsed walls, but the injector is malfunctioning. Thus, he has a difficult time doing so. He nearly falls down a steep edge. Fortunately, Tyler is there in time to give him a hand. They work together to make their way to the bullet's location, and once there, they use a hose to get to the bullet. The insect-like creatures emerge in response to the commotion. As the building is starting to collapse, Connor is struggling to unscrew the robot's head from its body. A falling car heads toward Connor, who is unaware of its proximity, but Tyler and Johnson are able to stop it in time. Suddenly Skunk joins them, and he fights off the insect-like creatures. They manage to escape the falling building unscathed. On the way to Pandora's pistol, Connor tells the rest of the crew about his findings, and he also hacks into the data stored in the robot's brain, where he discovers that the robots are responsible for the bombing of the Orca. They figure out that Sean Lee was the one who did it, and they find proof indicating he was the one who sent out the command to sabotage the mission, as he wants Pandora to be destroyed and the construction of his Skynets to continue. The group gets in touch with Lee and informs him that they have evidence of his involvement in the sabotage, but Lee counters by issuing them a challenge. They need to beat him, so they will face off against the military robots acting under his direction. As the team makes its way toward the location of the pistol, Lee summons tank-like and humanoid robots to hunt down and stop the armored vehicle. While Skunk continues to drive, Tyler, Connor, and Johnson engage in combat with the robots by tossing grenades at them. They manage to destroy the enormous robot, but 3 humanoid robots are still aboard the vehicle. Thanks to Skunk's driving talents, they quickly get rid of the robots. Johnson gives the bullet to Tyler, and he does not hesitate to give his life for his team. He throws himself down with one of Sean Lee's robots. While this is happening, Colonel Tam, with the team presumes to be dead, orders the bomb to be dropped on Pandora before the expected torrential rains. After all, there is not the slightest trace of them whatsoever. Lucy notices that the robot, Timura, is suddenly activated and is operating against something that Tyler and his team are fighting against it, so she informs Tam of this. Tam points out that only she and Sean Lee are capable of controlling the robots. Soon, the team arrives at the location where the pistol is and encounters a large crab-like robot, whose pulse weapon destroys their armored car. The pulse weapon on the robot is what knocks down the armored vehicle. Connor, Skunk, and Tyler engage in combat with other humanoid robots while attempting to destroy crab-like robot. Connor detonates a bomb in the center of the road, destroying the concrete and opening a passageway to the pistol's chamber. Then the bus, where Pansy is taking cover, gets blown up by the Timura. The second storm rolls in, and Pandora begins to grow uncontrollably. However, to everyone's surprise, Johnson is still alive after his self-sacrifice and has already rescued the little girl. Now that Johnson joins in the conflict, he contacts headquarters to inform them that he is now in position and is ready to enter the pistol. When Colonel Tam learns of this, she immediately orders to cease the bombing mission. As Johnson moves farther inside to look for the pistol of the alien plant, he injects the virus in the vial into the pistol itself. The insect-like creatures perish along with Pandora's lethal expansion, which comes to an end. After the mission is over and Colonel Tam is now over of Sean Lee's sabotage, he goes to detain him and punish him for his crime. However, just as Tam turns to leave, a loud gunshot can be heard coming from Sean Lee's office. It is made abundantly clear that Sean Lee kills himself before being apprehended in order to avoid legal consequences. The movie ends with the now altered alien plant restoring the atmosphere of Earth after Pandora's negative traits have been altered, and after a week, the planet's vegetation returns to normal. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos like this, and help the channel grow.